This is a lot. These are items that I've pulled off of the to-do desk. Although I moved the light here, try a different angle. I pulled them off the to-do desk because they've been to-do-doing for fucking ever, and I just need to get them done. And some of them I don't feel are worth an entire video all to themselves, and some of them I've just put off so long that it's just get it done, Zeos. Just get it done. Floppy, get it done. So we're going to be looking at, you can jump to timestamps below if you're only interested in one or none of these things. If you're interested in none of them, just jump right to the outro. I'd tell you to join Patreon and Subscribe Star, where you can see reviews early, participate in yard sales, and see sound demos unedited. Well, I've uploaded all the old sound demos that are gone, at least the audio of them, onto a new channel that's available for $5 patrons. And there is a second sound demo channel that has all the current new sound demos, and if those get pulled off, you know where they'll be. And what else was I going to say? Something else. I forget. Anyway, we have got the EARMAN TR amp. This has been here for a long while. And I actually had this in my old apartment. So it's an amp. It's an amp. It's an amp and DAC. It says DAC and it's DAC things. So it's an amp DAC, but they call it an amp. Then we've got the Mayflower Mini Arc, which is like the big arc, but mini from Mayflower that has the microphone pass-through. Then someone was like, you have to buy this, Zeos. I don't remember who it was. But this has been sitting on my desk for like 2.5 months. So this is the Douk Audio P1 Hi-Fi Tube Preamp USB DAC headphone amp. And it's like $100, and it's got a lot going on. And then finally, I was sent the NFJ and FX Audio D01, which is like a $150 combination DAC amp with pre-outs. And it's a pretty standard, it's like old school Zeos sort of reviewed this and loved it. So I'm going to give that a shot. I mean, I've been giving it a shot now. I put the Gustard H16 on the desk because 3 of these units are outputtable. So the EARMAN and the Douk and the NFX FX Audio D01, the D01 all will output RCA. The only one that won't is the Mayflower. So I'm going to output the RCA. I'm using the Amphenol ended World's Best RCAs. Not sponsoring the channel yet, but I'm getting a big box with all this shit in it soon. Hope. Please. So I'm going to plug the RCAs from all 3 of these units into this. And I'm going to use the new Aeon Noirs to assess the DACs. Because, you know, this is sort of like got some price to it, but this one, this one is like, So at least I'll be able to determine if any of them have output problems. And I'm just going to plug a couple of headphones in. I've got the 660s. I've got the Grado, which ones are you, the 80s? Yeah, the SR80X here. And I'm just going to assess the amplifiers. I'm going to go through them one at a time, and that wallpaper will be in the description if you want to download it. Okay, all right. Pausing this. So the EARMAN kitty cat, that's ear woman. The EARMAN here is a chunk of a fucking amp that is $250. It says made in Europe on the bottom, which is important, Chewbacca, because you know what? Europe's not China. Also, Europe isn't a country, so whatever country it is, doesn't want to say what country it is. But that being said, it is a quality unit. Hold on, I gotta mute that. The amplifier gets to about, it says 400 milliwatts for 16 ohms and 350 for 32. And it doesn't say anything else above that. So this is a relatively lightweight pair of headphones, the 660s, and I could blow them up pretty easily. No pooping down here today. She pooped down here yesterday, it was bad. Don't know why I'm telling you that on a review. This is a professional YouTube channel. Comes with no charger. I was just reading the Amazon reviews. I don't usually do that, but I wanted to get like a little bit more perspective because I'm only going to be playing with these things for a few hours. And I don't remember opening it up, but here's the box. And indeed, if you look at the box, and I went through it like for accessories, there's no place for a USB charger. So it's a USB rechargeable unit. Obviously, it's running with no power right now. With no charger. So I had to whip out like one of these little Anker IQ chargers, or this one's from the Oppo. This is like a 5 amp one, and just charge the unit up. So the front of it's got a 1/4 inch and a 3.5 millimeter. No balance. It's just boom and boom. Same exact thing. Just you don't have to supply different connectors. I could actually plug the adapter on this. I'm using a Hart audio cable. on these, which means I could swap the ends out if I really wanted to. If anything could run balance, I could just swap a balance connector on it, but I don't. So I'll run the 1/4 inch or the 3.5. It makes no never mind, although 1/4 inch is more robust. Nice volume knob. It's rather downplayed. It comes with a cock ring. If you don't know, if you've never seen me on this channel, it's been a while since I've had a cock ring incident. Yeah, it literally says EARMAN, and one of these is designed so you take your phone and you'd put this around your phone, put the cock ring around your phone, which makes perfect sense, and then you would strap your amplifier to the back of your phone. What? Are you high? This thing is IFI like levels of chonk, if not heavier than those. I think IFI has actually done some high-tech like weight loss things for their units. This is not. So I would not recommend strapping this to your phone, although it is completely compatible with Android and iOS. Like, they're marketing it as a portable DAC. Doesn't come with the short wire you'd use to loop to it. In fact, I'm going to unplug. This is going to break it. I'm breaking it a little bit. Let me break it. I'm breaking it. Give me a second. Comes with this USB cable, which is fucking gorgeous. It's a Remax, like the real estate agent? I don't know. I think that's a sticker. I think that's just a sticker. That makes it look good. But this cable is like a textured, flat USB-C. Chewbacca, follow me? Yeah, it says Remax on both sides. So it's a nice cable. I just took it out of the box a few hours ago. So it's still got the jank to it, but this is a quality fucking piece of equipment. I like it. I like the cable. Comes with an EARMAN bag to put it in, which is only slightly too big. I think they just sell these bags and just rebrand them. Of course, you get the cock ring, and that's about it. So the back of the unit, if I can pull some... I'll just plug these back in. Back of the unit is a charge USB-C, a data USB-C, and then you have a switch which lets you choose for the 2 RCA outs, which is, again, a portable device with RCA outs, very IFI-ish, either to be direct out of this for the DAC or pre-out, so you can actually control the volume in the front. That's rather considerate and nice of them. So I'm using it here on the laptop. I would probably highly recommend this be for a laptop use if you picked one up. It's a bit pricey. If you need battery, here's where you use this. Here's the thing, if you're using your phone, because the fact that it has a battery in it, and a big battery at that, it's like 3,700 milliamp hour, means, okay, good, I don't need a powerful device to keep it going. But a laptop should be able to power most amplifiers. And like the IFI Zendac V2 exists for less money than this, almost $100 less. And that also has preamp switchable outs that have this switch. This switch is super fucking rare to find a pre-out versus direct. Do you see why I put this review off? I'm gonna plug it back in now. Hold on. Let's plug this back in. Are we on direct? We're on direct. Like, I could see it being used in an office scenario. I want to plug it in. I probably need to plug signal back in, which means I got to plug this back in, which means Windows needs to, not the charge one, the data one. Flippity, floppity, froppity. Which way are we going? Oh, hold on. I'm a professional. Let me do this. That was long enough. It's now back on. Okay, so headphones out playing. I'm going to lower it. When you turn the volume up all the way off, it goes click, and that's what turns the unit off. But now the RCAs are going into the Gustard, and the Gustard is feeding the Noirs, and the Noirs are telling me how good the DAC is on this. And I gotta say, I don't notice any blatant flaws with the way it's outputting sound. I guess that's the best review of a DAC Zeus is gonna have for a while, is I do not notice any flaws in the sound. Oh my God. That was very loud. I'm gonna switch this to line, and this way I can adjust, unplug that, and then I can adjust the volume here for that. I actually found the gain switches on this, by the way, for anyone who was concerned when I did the review of the Gustard. Apparently, to adjust the gain, you hold the center button, and then you have to manipulate the wheel to be high, medium, low. I had it on low the entire time I reviewed it. So I gave this a pass. even with only low gain. And now I have it on, hold on, high gain. I'm gonna take it to mid gain. Let's take that to mid gain. Yeah, I was playing by the Redline OST. That's Lynchman and Johnny Booyah. Yeah, so you could have a fixed amplifier, boom, and then you could just control your volume here through the outputs. It's nice. It's nice and convenient. The problem with it is, where's the market? Because it's just too big for a phone. You've got to be one of those audiophile assholes to plug it into your phone. It's not balanced, which isn't really a requirement. I don't need things to be balanced. But it's nice. It's nice if you could use, you know, Pentacon connectors, and you know, a lot of things come with balance nowadays. The battery means you're going to want to put this on a portable device that's weak, like a phone, but it's too big for that. So you're going to put it on a laptop, which the USB should be able to power it fine. In fact, it has a charge port, so it's a separate charge port. So if you did want to use this on your laptop, I don't think this will charge and use the USB. I don't think that's what it does. I think you need 2 USBs to go to the laptop, which only comes with the one. So you have to go out and buy another USB charger and USB-C cable, and then plug them both in to have this run like in an infinite sort of setup. Now it blinks. Now that goes from green, by the way. Green, I like green, to it's blinking blue because it's charging. So it's like, it sounds good. It sounds good. Doesn't sound fucking exceptional. Doesn't have a bass boost. Doesn't have gain controls. It's just amplifier, decent DAC, battery, very nice wire. The end. And cock rings. So that is the EARMAN. So Zeos mark the time. Now let's talk about this, which is the Arc Mini from Mayflower. And happily, so I was scrolling through the specs of the EARMAN. 250. The EARMAN is done. Now the Arc Mini, which is $129.99, which is half the cost of that, which is a USB only device. And what makes it the Arc, it is, well, it doesn't stand really for audio return channel. What this will do is allow you, through the back, it has a, what was that? Hold, please. I had to sort something because it was just, my head was exploding. Like, what the hell is, all right, let me show you this symbol, because it doesn't say it anywhere in the thing. And I know that I've looked at this before. There's a picture of what looks to be a banana plug, but that turns out to be a 3.5mm plug. So it's showing me a picture of a 3.5mm below a 3.5mm. What does that do? Words exist, everybody. And you could write, like this says DSP, we'll get to that. And this is a picture of a headphone, and I get that. But this is a picture of a 3.5mm. I'm like, wait, is that for a microphone in? Is that a line out? This is a line in. So it has USB-C and a line in, which you can use. And I thought for sure that this thing was, because the original Arc, where's the original Arc? I have the original Arc open here. The Mark II Arc was a headset or a microphone, and then you could switch back and forth. And it says it has microphone input, but this new one has nothing on it that says anything about a microphone input. So it's just the Arc Mini, which I plugged in. I brought out the KPH30Is, which I'll never take an opportunity not to, which is a 4-pole, which would make perfect sense, because if you're using some sort of microphone on this, you plug it in. Plus the fact that this has a switch here that's either USB or PlayStation. So if it's PlayStation, you would think the microphone worked, but I've plugged the microphone into the front of this microphone with the 4-pin and said, okay, Windows, show me that it's got a microphone, and it just doesn't. Now there is an app. I'm not I can actually hang headphones from that. That's awesome. Those are the lights for the thing. There is an app that lets you tweak some settings on it, but it's not out, and I play with a very, very rudimentary one, and it'll be there to fix a couple problems this thing has. It won't fix all the problems it has, but you know, for $129, I absolutely, it's made in America, 10-year warranty. It's made by, you know, Mayflower. They've done a lot of good shit. There are a few things I'm going to complain about. I'm going to complain about them right now. Firstly, if it doesn't have a microphone input in that 3.5, why is it not just a 1/4? Just because, you know, this unit's not any smaller than it. And this has a 1/4 inch in it, so just put a 1/4 inch. Because I like 1/4 inch, because 1/4 inch doesn't break. 1/4 inch adapters break. 3.5 millimeters break. So I'm like, meh. Blue LED in the front. Luckily, it's pointing straight down, so you literally can't tell it's on unless you're like there. Top volume knob, which we have to talk about. The rear, again, single USB-C plugged in. You had your switch between PlayStation or USB for a computer, which obviously I'm on USB for the computer. The computer's feeding it right now. You get your line in case you want to just send a line in for something. And then you get the volume knob on top. And this has a lot of DSP going on. I'm going to unscrew my thingy. And by that, I mean digital signal processing. And by that, I mean it's a very clean amplifier. It actually has more power than the EARMAN. According to the things, the EARMAN was 400 milliwatts at 16 ohms. And this claims 700 milliwatts. And if I turn the knob up, I don't know if I believe that. I mean, that's maxed, and that's maxed, and this is the same headphones as there, so it's not quite. Now, the reason I say it's DSP'd is not because it does any sort of actual processing to the sound to make it sound different, but the volume knob, which is just a completely smooth knob, it goes, click to turn it off and turns on, lags bad. Like Charlie is falling asleep. If I go, here's your music. All right, here's your music's not playing. And then I go up, down, 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 up. If I just wiggle it back and forth like this, the volume's not changing. You have to stop, then it sort of finds its way down. It could be a good thing. That could be a good thing, but there's a real issue with it. And this is a real physical issue, is if I go to turn this down and I go, there's a very gentle stop there. If you go past that gentle stop, even a millimeter, the unit turns off because it goes click to turn off. And when it turns on, you have to go way up there to turn it on. And if you're turning the volume down quickly, like people tend to do if they have something that's too loud, you will go and you will bump the off. So currently it's on. Wait. Currently it's on. Make sure it's playing. On and playing. If you go off like that, oh God, I went too far. It shuts off the USB. That is a fatal fucking flaw. That needs to have like immense travel and then click like way off. Because a lot of times there's volume knobs that just go down and then you got to go past the hump and then it's off. As soon as you hit the hump and go 1 millimeter past it, it's off. And it's a USB-only device. If it was just a standard analog amplifier, you just click it back on. But your entire, whatever you're playing, your whole computer's gonna go, device is gone, every time you fuck that up. So, when you turn this on, you leave it on. You leave it on at least there, because I don't trust lowering it. I was doing that, volume testing here, and I just bounced it. Well, here, it's not playing music, so it's not gonna error. I just bounced it off that fucking break, and it's like, nope, I'm off now. So I'm like, what? Volume knobs should almost never be on and off switches unless we're talking about a very portable device and you needed to save a lot of room. You got plenty of room in this thing to add an actual on-off switch. That was just. Ennio Morricone. Which I can max, and there's no high-low gain. Oh, let's talk about the DSP, because if that's a fatal physical flaw, the DSP, and I haven't played with the EQ on the software, which I don't have installed in this laptop. I think I had it installed in here, and then I stopped plugging everything into this, and I'm on here. The DSP will load a correction for you that you decide, and it probably is fine. But the default one that I got in this pre-production unit, my God. It's just turn it on, which is a very hard, by the way, it's a very, very difficult button to press. If I just wanted to push the button, I have to like slam it. Wait, still not pushed. There, it clicked. You have to like push. You have to hold this son of a bitch down and push it in and out. So maybe you want to lighten the tension up in those springs. But if I'm listening to Ennio Morricone and I hold it here and click that on, volume mutes, and comes back up, and it's just a wall of warmth and bass. So they wanted to really just put whatever. Look, this is just mine. You can go into this software and correct it to whatever EQ you want. Do you want it to be highs? Nothing but highs for gaming? That's fine. You want it to be nice and warm like this? You could do that. I don't know how detailed you can get, if you can actually get like a 24-point EQ curve that you could install. But that's basically... The DSP on-off should have been the power on-off, and the DSP should have been like a button on top or something. Other than that, it sounds clean. It's a slightly... I'm going to just shut it off, let that break. It's slightly underpowered. I like volume controls on top. I would have liked it to be a 1/4 inch. It really, like, I thought, thinking about being at the ARC, it would have microphone pass-through. But apparently that's not a thing for the ARC Mini, even though it's called the ARC Mini, and the ARC Big Boy has the microphone pass-through, and that's the whole point of it, is for gaming. You could plug in, you know, microphone and headphones and have it USB. Unless I'm wrong, and I just can't get it to work on this laptop for whatever fucking reason. Close that, and I'm gonna close... I had so many things plugged into this. So yeah, that's that. So now, the Douk. Zeos, timestamp. Timestamp the description of the Douk. This, which I have to plug in here, because we're going to be testing this in a second, or I'm going to be probably stopping the camera to listen to it for a bit, because I haven't yet, is a very strange device that I picked up on Amazon. And it's very gold. Actually, it's more like copper. Like, that's copper colored. These rings here, which are filthy from dust, from me letting it sit forever, are copper. And these are like bronze. And we got a bass and a treble knob that are click, 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 click. But there's no detent for the center. There's no zero. It just says negative and positive. So you have to sort of like, I guess that that's the center. And you have a volume knob here that's also that. That's also da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It has a power button, which is a nice button with actually a red LED around it. And then you have a switch here that says Bluetooth, USB, or RCA. We're on USB. I actually have it USB'd into this computer, which we'll switch to now. Thank you, Fubar, for existing. I think you are hi-fi audio. That's unplugged. This is turned off. It's got to be this one. Comes with 2 little tubes, little Chinese tubes. I'm not sure what there are. If you pick this up, I'm sure you'll know. Tone controls on and off for these two here. And then you have an LED choice. So the tubes are glowing. We are getting a nice orange glow. And also, there's orange LEDs under the tubes, which I can then turn off or switch to blue if I want to have a blue LED. So I just there's a whole switch just to choose the color, orange or blue LEDs. So I leave them on orange because I'm never going to put blue on. Well, you just leave it off because the tubes are actually glowing. Here's your headphone out. Again, a 3.5mm, when nothing should have a 3.5mm headphone out. It doesn't cost much more for a 1/4 inch, and it's more robust, and it makes everything look better. And then we get to the back, which is why we're actually going to be playing with this. Bluetooth antenna, PC USB, again plugged into the laptop, input of RCAs, output of RCA, and there's your 12-volt power plug, which is hanging down on the floor. So I'm going to plug this into our output. Which, I mean, this calls it itself a preamp, so the fact that it has a headphone amp is sort of like a bonus in my book. Because a lot of people want to just preamp tube things, so you take a good, neat, solid state, and you could put RCA into this, fuck with it, have it come out, and then power it all. So let's continue using these. Make sure that volume's all the way down. Look, the volume now can go all the way down and not turn off the unit. This I'm going to lower in case this does bad things, because I'm not sure how the preamp's going to behave. Plug this in and turn up the knob. Alright, here, I'm going to count the clicks. I'm going to count the clicks before it's too loud. 1 click, no sound. 2 clicks, no sound. 3 clicks, no sound. 4 clicks, 35% my tolerable volume. Volume higher, 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 higher. I'm dying. Holy shit. Please stop. Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, you get a very short range of like 5 clicks from like Like, that's loud enough to listen to. Like, if I were having a conversation, the very first notch where sound appears is too loud for us to contain a conversation. And then, like, there is, like, I was tempted to pull down the 880, 600 ohms just to see, but then I'd have to get an adapter because it doesn't have a 1/4 inch. So I said, fuck it. It's very loud. And it's very, very loud. And as far as tubiness goes, I think, honestly, you want to do that with, what's the right channel? With Grados. So let's ungrado this and then put this here. And these are even easier to drive than those. And it just sounds hollow and hard. It sounds way better on these than these. But if I put the tube controls on and I just crank the treble down and the bass all the way up, then you can listen to things. I kind of respect the fact that there's no like D10 for 0 on the bass and treble, because you could bypass the tone controls. You could just set it to off. Just set it to off. I don't want any tone controls. I don't want these to do anything. But then you set them to on and you're just freeballing. I'm OCD a little bit, and when I'm like adjusting something, if I could choose an even number, I'll do it. Even if 37 is where my color is best on my television, you could bet your ass it'll be 36 or 38. Probably 36. So the fact that it's basically like, woo, you just close your eyes. More bass, more treble, less treble. And then when you're happy, you stop touching it. And if you want it to go away, you flip that switch, and now the tone controls, yeah, no. Definitely needs those tone controls on for these headphones. But now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to spend a little time listening to the DAC in this through these tubes into the Gustard, into the Noirs, and see how that comes out. So, apparently, the tone controls get pushed through the preamp, so that you can literally bass and treble adjust what's coming out of the Gustard, which is nice, except you have to. Because whatever's happening with these tubes, I don't even know if I want to blame the DAC. What I was hearing out of the front of this was like, all right, you want to fuck with it, whatever. But what I'm hearing out of the back of this is basically terrible. If you put this to tone controls off and just listen, it's hard garbage, just light and fucking nothing. That's like not good, not tubey, no. So you turn on the tone controls, and literally I turn the bass all the way up and the treble all the way up and the volume all the way up, and then I gotta crank this to 70 because the output's low, and then you get like a listenable, kind of enjoyable sound. So I think its use as a preamp, unless you're willing to start tube rolling this and then feed it RCA and not whatever the DAC is. Like for full reviewage, I would have to like I had to hook up the DAC, hook up the A16 DAC to this in here, and then run it through the bullshit, and then have it come out of the bullshit machine into that, and then assess it. It's whatever. The fact that I have to turn the bass and treble knobs all the way up means the tubes aren't doing what they should be doing, and something's just not clean and not good. So let's just turn this off using the switch there. This will probably yard sale. I think most things here will end up in the yard sale. So yeah, no. I'm going to unplug the RCAs, as we are going to need to use them. I love how I pull by the wire. Always pull by the wire. From a wire company you trust. Like world's best. This thing. This was not a... This has been, like... I'm trying to think. And I'm done thinking. All of the units like this have been basically donezo since the IFI Zendak. Since the original one. Now the new one is a little more expensive. More expensive than this. This is like $150, I think, if I found it on, let's see, there's the ARC. $109 for this fucking thing. Gets amazing reviews. 549 ratings, 4.5 stars. What are you, like, what, I mean, Sonic Nirvana? I liked it so much I bought another. Sounds great and is versatile. I exceeds expectations. Maybe mine's broken. Maybe it's been sitting too long. I don't know what people are doing with it. It's aight. Like the actual headphone out is aight, but I mean it's a preamp, so I'm preamping it, and a preamp is not good. Moving on, again, the FX Audio D01, which is $150, and it's $100 on Amazon, or if you get it from Shenzhen. And all right, let's look at it. Let's just look at it. We'll make our assessments as we go. Move this to there because that's yours. The front has an on-off button. You hold for off, power off, it says. You press it, it comes on, it says FX Audio. It weighs very little, actually, for a metal case. It says optical input 44.1 kilohertz. It's muted. We mute by pressing that. It says 25. This at the bottom, actually interesting, there is a volume slide indicator. So all the way up to 100, from 0, you can just fill that bar. Or 99. I approve of that. That's an interesting and useful use of a screen. Those SMSL like $700 VMV ones could use just a little more flair. That's plenty. That's just enough flair. It wouldn't even need the volume indicator here if it was just doing that, because at least I understand that. It's fine. So the select button here lets you pick coaxial, Bluetooth, which is blinking, USB, or optical. I'm going optical because I'm coming off of this computer. It's fine. You got a 1/4-inch jack. Bonus points for being the only 1/4-inch thing on here except for the EARMAN. So you get that. You get your volume knob and mute. That's what it is. It says mute. You press it, it mutes. You turn it, it controls the volume. Not complicated. Get off of my cable. The back of it is as follows. God. Here's your antenna for Bluetooth. Here is your full-size USB input. Here's your optical input. Here's your coaxial digital input. And here are your outputs, which I'm about to hook up to this to test. And here's your 12-volt DC input. So that's it. It's very basic. But why would you get this and not the IFI, which is now $20 more? No, $10 more. It's $160. It's $10 more. Is balanced, has balance out, has adjustable output to be fixed or not fixed. Is beautifully built. Doesn't have a screen, but it has bass boost and high and low gain. This doesn't have any sort of gain controls. You understand why I skip things now? Because this is why I hold off on reviews and I skip shit. Because it's ruined. The IFI Zen ruined things. Everything's fucking ruined. Because you show me this, or you show me the EARMAN, which is blatantly not to be used portably, except it's got a battery in it, so of course you're going to use it portably, but you're going to use it for a laptop, so you're going to charge it up and then use it for a laptop. I'll buy an IFI Zen DAC if that's the case, because it'll power off your laptop and it'll be fine. Plugging this in. Let's do 660s first. When you plug it in, the volume changes to 50. And I don't know why. Let's just unplug that. Alright. Oh wait, now the volume's at 13, so that's got to be the rear. Hold on a second. Let's see what this is doing. Yeah, okay, we're adjusting the output on the back, which at 99, and this is at 70. Seems awfully high. Both of these are outputting very quietly. So I nailed it to 99. So this is a constant preamp out. Let's see if I plug the headphones in if the back shuts off. It does. So now these are not making sounds. The RCAs are turned off. I'm okay with this system so far. That drops back to 37. So I guess if it's over 50, it'll drop to 50. And now I'm taking this to like 74, 75. And now I'm controlling it here. I don't know why I was touching that before. I'm touching this. And from the listening I've given this, which has been more than 12 seconds just now, it's actually a quality sounding amplifier. It sounds good. Does it sound better than the IFI Zen 2? IFI Zen DAC V2. I don't think it does. But if this came out 2018, in 2018, this would sing at the king of the shit pile. It would just be right up there. It'd be like, oh shit, you need a thing? Do one, baby. Do one. Just do one. D01, do one. Get the do one. because it's got USB, it's got coaxial, it's got fiber optic, it's got the 3 inputs you need. It's got an output that's controllable, that switches. It's got a 1/4 inch, which is all you really need. It's got a screen that looks kind of interesting. It's kind of like, it's blatant and easy. It looks better than the Sabage fucking screens. And it's made of metal. And that would have been all I needed to tell you. And you would have bought this. But now there's just alternatives. There's just a bunch of alternatives. I mean, shit. That's all I gotta say. Shit. For $150, you can get, like, you go up to $200, you can get, like, I did the Atom stack, the Atom DAC amp stack, which I know both of those things are going to be higher quality than what this has got as far as the amplification and the DAC, although that's still plastic. So then you just, again, you go back down to the Zen DAC and you get that, or you get like a Madi Magni stack, or you push it and you get like a Madius, which is, what do those come out to? It's like a $300 stack. $400 stack? I forget what those actually run. So, I mean, I don't hate this thing. It's just late. It's like this. I feel it's late to the party. The mini ARC with its problems and its build, and like, it sounds fine. Fine. It's not exceptional. It's fine. And the price at $130, again, it's fine. 2018 is fine. 2018 is fine. 1987, this is fine. And this, I feel like this is in a category that it isn't out of time. Like, it isn't coming out at the wrong time. But why? There's so much competition in this too. You can get an X2O. You get the X2O right there, the XD05 Plus. See how it's linked to the XD05 Plus, which is a USB-C DAC amp, 1/4 inch, and has Bluetooth, and is massive, and like, oh, fuck, I'll roll over there. Is my cord long enough? Oh God, the cords. Give me, okay. Am I wrapping up? I guess this is the wrap up. This is the wrap up. Whenever the wrap up was, yes. So this, 2018. This, 2018, probably, yeah. 1987. And the EARMAN has to compete with shit like the X2O, XD05 Plus. And 250, this is like 260, so they're right in the same ballpark. Turn them on. Battery powered, USB. If I take off the Bluetooth adapter, which that doesn't have the ability to. We've got charge, we've got USB in, we've got digital in, which is, this only has USB. This has also fiber optic or coaxial in. This has auxiliary out or in. So this has auxiliary out, but is also switchable to be a preamp, and this doesn't have that. So it's got one feature over it, and then you've got bass boost and gain control, and then current modes, and this doesn't have any of that at all. So it's like, do you understand? Zeos, it doesn't. He looks at this and goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm gonna review that, but this exists," or "I'm gonna review this, but the Zen DAC exists." So why am I even here? Just get this shit off my table. Get it off my table. The Arc Mini, if the DSP button, if the software for it, which you guys can all look up on your own, because you're all individuals that need to not listen to me all the time and do some research on your own. If the DSP button can be programmed perfectly to adapt to a headphone of yours, and maybe since the pre-production they fixed the fact that it like that annoying, it's just the most annoying like bounce. It's like, oh, smooth, and you've shut it off. You turned it off. You went, it's off already. It's already off. It's been off. So all this. And it's off. Fix that, and maybe it's worthwhile. Put a different power button on. Put a bass boost. Needs some features. This has tons of features. The IFI Zen DAC has tons of features. This, I was hopeful for it, because look at it. That's cool as shit. Put it into your speakers. But if this Gustard to the fucking Noirs is any fucking indication of how this is going to sound, don't. It's got so many good ratings. I'll probably end up fucking around with it a little bit more. Just feed it a decent signal. I could feed it from the EARMAN, for fuck's sake. Do I have a set of RCAs? All right, hold on. All right. Slight redemption arc for this Douk. Slight. The DAC in it is absolutely garbage. Obviously. Blatantly. Because out of the EARMAN, which is probably the finest unit I reviewed today, was the EARMAN. It's probably the most well put together. But the DAC out of this into this, instead of the internal DAC out of this, I could actually just leave the preamp off, the tone controls, and it actually sounds just good going into the Goose Star. Just good. Just good. It just sounds good. It sounds, there might be some tubiness happening, and it's all fine. Which means the DAC in it is a giant pile of shit. So, plug in the front again. Because that means I was listening to the DAC on the front of this, which that's all the way down. Still got way too much volume. Tones off. Wow, that's a blatant... Well, I got a time jump now to this, which will be at the end of the video, because that's... I'm not refilming that whole video, fuck that. So I guess just, I figured I'd give it the whole test. Use the DAC in it. Use the DAC and preamp out. Use the DAC stuff. And DAC is garbage. Oh yeah, that sounds good. That's 5 stars at Amazon. And then you turn this on, you get nice tone controls. And you unplug this, and then you use it to actually like output the speakers or something. Presuming this is not headphones and this is a pair of speakers, this would absolutely work to like Atom T5Vs or something. You just and the tone controls are actually kind of nice. This is, yeah, okay. This Redemption arc right here, I didn't think the DAC could be that bad. I mean, I'm one of those people who's like, all DACs sound the same, except when one DAC's, I'll correct that statement. All decent, well put together, well engineered, and well implemented DACs sound the same. If you actually are selling a DAC as a reputable company, fine. If you're Douk Audio and you happen to have a $100 Tube Pre thing that they don't even, what the fuck's a DAC? I don't know. Have your doubts. Anything over $100 that's sold as a dedicated DAC from a company that even you've maybe heard about, probably fine. Yeah, that sounds great. That more bass suited my Gustard. So now I have the power of this, and the weird bullshit of this is doing. All right. And this is set to full out, not pre-out. Oh, and I'm using Periapt RCAs to go along with my... It's very country, handsome family. Then the most country sounding Marilyn Manson song comes on, Leave a Scar, alternative. Yeah, no, that's a worthwhile. If you want to just get a little tube pre going, just don't use the fucking internal DAC ever. Just fill that with glue that shit up. That means that the fucking having Bluetooth into this. That means the Bluetooth is probably garbage too, because the Bluetooth has to still be a digital signal, which the DAC internally would then have to fuck with. So I'm just gonna go off from experience and be like, don't use the USB, don't use the Bluetooth. Take this fucking antenna, rip it right off. Just unscrew it. Here you go. Take this. Nope. Line in, line out, tubiness, some tone controls. Headphone out is decent enough for $100. Happy, everyone be happy. That's it. That's the final fucking quarantine chapter in this. That's how I feel. Anyway, download Floppy in the description if you want to put her on your phone, if your phone's super cool and can fit that. Links to everything I've done here. Links to my Patreon and Subscribestar, which Patreon bought some of this shit. Specifically you. And I was like, I'll just buy it. It was $100. Patreon money. Just throw it out there. And then I'll ignore you for 3 months. And then I'll be like, I hate you. You've sort of redeemed yourself now, but there's other more reputable tube pre's. But I get why this gets 5 stars on Amazon. People are just feeding it, taking it out, or feeding it using the headphone app. Just don't use the internal DAC. Jesus Christ, don't use the internal DAC. Patreon, Subscribestar, see reviews early, participate in yard sales, access the sound demo archive, the sound demo audio archive on Telegram. I could show it to you, but then I'd have to kill you. And there is a dedicated sound demo channel elsewhere. You can go to this channel and link it over. You'll see it at the bottom of every video that has a sound demo. There's a link to the new sound demo channel. Hi-Fi Guides in the Hi-Fi Guides forum. And thank you for staying with me. I had to clear up. The desk is starting to actually have space on it now. Just because these things are sort of dotted around in there with their giant, ugly boxes. What is even that? Is that what language is that? That doesn't even look like it's actually a language. I mean, when you just label something high quality audio equipment, you got to question what your motivations are. Just saying. It totally doesn't look like a language. Doesn't look like a language. Anyway, I'll see you all in 2 days, and thank you for stopping by.